So the pool and garden problems are really just a visual representation of the distributive property. If we look over here at this diagram where we see the rectangle and the A, B, and C, we can see that the A represents the kind of the height of that rectangle, and then the B plus C, the B added to the C represents the base of that rectangle. And then on the insides, we're looking at the result of multiplying A by B and then multiplying the A times the C. So we could represent the area of this rectangle in two different ways. We could represent it using the A times B plus C, A times B plus C, and that's right over here in the distributive property, A times B plus C. And the other way to represent the area of this rectangle is to take the AB and add it to the AC. And we see that here in the result after we use the distributive property. So this sort of diagram with the rectangles is really a way to visualize the distributive property. So we'll talk actually more about that later. For now, you're going to do some practice with the distributive property. So I want to do a couple of these problems with you so you know and kind of get the hang of it. So let's look at number 1. So we have to distribute the 4 on the outside to both the x and the 7 on the inside. And we distribute by multiplying. So we do 4 times x. And then since we see the plus sign here, we're going to go ahead and just write a plus sign. And then we'll do 4 times the 7 and 4 times 7. Now, this step of the work is something that you can write out, or it's something that you might eventually do in your head. And then our final answer, we'd write 4x plus 28. So what we've done is eliminated the parentheses from this original expression by multiplying the 4 through by both the x and the 7. Let's take a look at another one. I want to look at one that maybe has a minus sign going on. I'm going to jump down here to number 7. So if you can find number 7. Number 7, we're going to distribute the negative 4 to the A and the negative 4 to the 4, and then notice that we do have a minus sign in here. So I'm going to do negative 4 times A, and then rather than write a plus, I'm going to write that minus. And then I'll do negative 4 times 4. And then I can actually do the multiplying, and I get negative 4A. And then I get minus a negative 16, and then of course I wouldn't leave that minus a negative, I'd change it to a plus 16. So we end up with negative 4A plus 16. So we did negative 4 times A and got negative 4A. And then I did negative 4 times the 4 and got this negative 16. And then the minus and the negative turned into a plus. Let's look at one more. I want to look at what happens when you do a variable times a variable. Let's look at number 6. If you look at number 6, this time we're distributing the 3m to both parts inside the parentheses. So we have to do 3m, resize this here, 3m times m, 3m times m, and then I'll rewrite the minus sign, and then 3m times 2. So then I can make this simpler, and 3m times m, well, m times m is m squared, so this is 3m squared, minus, and then it's 3m times 2, and that makes 6m. So we get 3m squared minus 6m. So you're going to spend some time trying some of the rest of these, and then we'll talk more about the distributive property in coming days.